Hi, my name is Mariana Diggs, and today I will be doing my speech on how COVID-19 has affected the Broadway community. The date is April 9th, 2021, and if my audience could please introduce themselves.
My name is Lyell.
My name is Panaj.
My name is Janae.
My name is Lisette.
My name is Marcus Diggs.
Thank you. Now, many performers, directors, stagehands, and more have been affected by the pandemic both financially and physically. My goal today is to inform my audience about the effects COVID-19 has had on Broadway and the musical theater world. First, I will be discussing how Broadway actors themselves has been affected. Second, I will discuss how the government has not given much assistance to people connected to the theater industry. Third, I will discuss how the theater industry themselves has stood up for different injustices that have gone on in their industry before and throughout the pandemic. Now, how has the shutdown of Broadway affected its many actors? Broadway actors have been struggling to find ways to make ends meet and have been struggling with uncertainty due to the shutdown of Broadway. They now have no means of health insurance or much money coming in, as their income depends on in-person attendance. According to CBSNews.com, Natonia Monet was just cast as a line in the Tina Turner musical. Here is a banner for the Tina Turner musical. And when the pandemic hit, she was cast and was not able to do it. With the unforeseen circumstances of COVID-19, Monet has been an acting coach for children, yet this has not been enough. Her backup gigs have also been canceled, and her stimulus check that she receives will not be enough to support her either. Now, along with Broadway actors struggling, there have been the cancellation of many Broadway shows. According to TDF.org, many Broadway shows have been canceled due to the coronavirus, and they will not be coming back at all. Shows like Frozen, Hangman, Mean Girls, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf have been shut down during this pandemic. Here is a promotional poster of Mean Girls the musical. It might be recognizable because it was based off of the 2004 movie Mean Girls, written by Tina Fey. Now, Hangman never even had the opportunity to perform since the pandemic happened, and they no longer have the financial means to put the production on. All the performers, stage crew, theater staff, and more are out of jobs because of this, and the lack of support given to the Broadway community during this time. The government is not doing enough to aid the theater industry. There's little to no support or assistance from the government for the Broadway community. According to CBSNews.com, the arts and culture industry makes up around 4.5% of the country's economy, yet the government has not done much to support them. They have not received as much aid as other industries have during this time. Many of the additional funding given to this community has run out, and this has caused much strain on the people relying on their help. Compared to other countries, the United States is very slow in giving aid to its people that are struggling, and they have not given as much money to them as well. Now, although the government is doing not much to help them, the theater industry themselves have done a lot to keep together as a community and stand up against injustice. They have supported those affected by the pandemic, according to Playbill.com, by creating PPE for each other, personal protective equipment. And this is done by the costume department in the theater industry. Not only have they created PPE for themselves and other people, but they have also created paying jobs for these people as well. The many charities within the Broadway community, have also donated and raised a lot of money to support those affected by COVID-19. A notable mention is Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. This organization was formed in 1992 as an organization to help fight AIDS. They are recognizable by their signature red bucket in Broadway shows and throughout the Broadway community. Now that over the years, they have evolved to help just any situation in Broadway, especially now. The theater industry have stood their ground against the many social and racial injustices that occur in this industry. Among the many protests for justice surrounding the police slayings of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and many more, the Broadway community were inspired to stand up for Black, Indigenous people of color within their own community that have faced injustices. Another notable mention is the BTU. This stands for Black Theater United. Their goals are awareness, accountability, advocacy, and action. Now, many whites have also stepped down from their positions in the industry to make way for Black, Indigenous people of color performers, playwrights, producers, directors, and more. In conclusion, the global pandemic of the past year has affected a whole entire industry in a very dire way. We must do our part to help the Broadway industry and community so that many shows are no longer canceled due to this pandemic. If you can, donate whatever amount you can to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Thank you for listening to this presentation.